You can't expect to win them all.
Marvel Rivals has a Spider-Man problem. No, but seriously, it does. And let me get you up to speed on the support strike and why people are tired of playing supports. It's hard to defend people. There are people with abilities that can peel or defend your people that are being dived by DPS characters, right? There's a Magneto bubble. There's the Thing jumping to you and putting rocks around you. There's this new team up with Bucky and Captain America. And if you have good communication, sure, that can work some of the time. But it can't work all the time, especially against a character like Spider-Man. In this clip, I switched to Neymar because the Spider-Man was just becoming an absolute nuisance, and we were trying to shut him down. But of course, I didn't have Luna Squid. By the way, Luna Squid actually slowed Spider-Man and made it easier for you to track him and take him out. However, regular squids they track, but this Spider-Man's got his ult like every felt like every minute in this match. This is an old clip, and I tried to look him up to see what rank he was, but his profile was blocked, so I couldn't see what rank he was, and it was hard to tell if he was cheating or not. So that's something they might need to look into, but maybe he was just that good. Maybe he was just cracked. There's a streamer named Necros, so I want to get you up to speed on that. He had made some comments a while back when the triple support meta was a thing, and he felt like playing three healers was brain dead. But obviously, playing as a support is not an easy job. It requires a lot of thought on how to do your job, and to do your job successfully you can't be off in a corner secluded fighting a enemy Spider-Man, because that of course almost always not go in your favor. There are times where you'll sleep a Spider-Man and headshot him a couple times and then he's out of the game, right? There's times when a Luna can freeze and then start doing the big clap for damage and kill a Spider-Man. But those Spider-Man just got unlucky. The majority of the time, the Spider-Man is not going to approach you from the front or from an angle that's predictable. Although his follow-up attack where he swings forward, that is in a predictable pattern, but the problem is you're not going to see him coming from that normally. The streamer Necros is like the top 500 Spider-Man in the world, or like number one. He held number one for a while, and I don't know who's number one now, but he was number one. So he says that it's really easy to counter Spider-Man. Just throw a stun or a CC at him when he's doing his predictable swing towards you, and then take him out. Right? That's super easy, right? Problem is he doesn't come at you from the front where you can see him. He'll usually come from behind, or he'll come from one of your sides, from one of your flanks, okay? And if you're a support player and you're focused on the front, what's going on in front of you, just like the tank is, just like the tank should be, they're not always going to notice the Spider-Man right away until after you hear his web shooters. Once the web tracker attaches to you, he follows up with an uppercut, which has a very wide radius and hasn't been nerfed. And then he'll hit you with a one more web shot, and then he'll hit you with a downward double fist attack, and then you're dead. There's no more. You're back at the spawn, and you're starting again, and then he'll come back and do it again. Even if your team does try to pay attention to the Spider-Man, usually they can't do anything about it because the process happens so fast. So knowing how he works, it helps to counter him, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, he's not the top DPS in the game. There's other DPS in this particular Spider-Man in this particular match, which happened before the update to Rocket's ult. He wasn't super good, but a super good Spider-Man, you will know the difference. He shuts down Neymar, and the only thing that slowed the old Spider-Man down was Luna Squid. This new Squid, yeah, it can do some damage. Yeah, the new Gamma Squid can do some damage, but Spider-Man usually kills the Neymar and then he goes about his business. Okay, most times. because Neymar has to aim at a fast-moving target. He's not always going to hit his Trinet on the Spider-Man. In this case, the Spider-Man was in an enclosed area, so it was easy for me to get the pick on him right there because he couldn't get out of my line of sight fast enough. But in most cases, the Spider-Man will swing at you in a bigger area like this right here, and then I'll have a hard time hitting him. Now in this game, I'm doing particularly well because I main Rocket, so I really like Rocket's kit and I like how he is. And let's talk about how they keep on nerfing supports and they keep making DPS stronger. I get it. They want the game to be fast paced. And if you leave a support alone, like I'm being left alone mostly in this match, you can see results. But that's what I want. I like to do my job. You know, when I play, I want to have some type of fun. I understand having a little challenge here and there from a Black Panther or from a Psylocke or from a Star-Lord. You're gonna get challenged sometimes. Thor will get up in your face and then he'll just do his lightning god powers and just two-shot you. That's that's just how the game is. And I understand that. But Spider-Man, it just feels different than Hella two-shotting me from range. Than freaking Bucky two-shotting me. Bucky can two-shot you. People talk about his nerfs, but they never talk about the fact Bucky can two-shot you. Hawkeye can two-shot you. If Black Widow is buffed by Mantis, she can two-shot you. Or she can one-tap you, honestly, if she's buffed by the new Mantis buffs. But anyway, Spider-Man is the hardest to deal with out of all of them. Nowadays, Black Panther is like the easiest to deal with because he has hit reg problems. But at Crack Black Panther, he's a nightmare to deal with. They usually always have some type of movement ability so they can get in, kill somebody, and get out and not have to answer or not have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And teams don't have an answer. So there's a lot of people, like Necros himself included, saying that Spider-Man's not a problem. It's just people don't know what they're doing to deal with them. He says, predictable pattern. If that's true, then why is Spider-Man often, he's in the top 10 characters that get banned in high elo? Why do people not have an answer for him? Why do people not want to deal with him if he's so easy to counter? And you got to think, people in Grandmaster, they have high game sense. They have high, skill levels. They can aim really, really good. And I know there's some Punishers in the game that could probably just shoot him clean out of the air. But he moves so freaking fast. And he does so much damage in a short amount of time. Now, I'm not going to say Spider-Man doesn't take skill to play. And I'm not saying supports should be fully left alone. But there needs to be a solution. Hey, who's that? Who's that guy?